Up there. Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for attending. And I declare this meeting, a special board meeting on Tuesday, March the 24th, opening at 7:07 p.m. Thank you. Rosalie, if you would make the roll call.
Okay. Joan Jacobs,
Present.
Alonso Williams,
Here.
Rosalie Preston, present. Imagining Nixon is not here yet. Ronald Robinson,
Present.
Bart Bidleymeyer,
Present.
Dave Trejo, not here yet. Harvey Powell,
Here. I'm here.
Eva Cooper Pace,
Here.
Marvin Bell,
Here.
Barbara Tyson Frazier isn't here yet. Shirley Johnson, not here. Jeremy Guyton,
Here.
Jackie Jackson's not here yet. Vanessa Simmons, not yet. Frankie Mays,
Present.
Clifford McLean.
Here.
So we have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Okay, item number 2, general public comment on non-agenda items that are within the Neighbourhood Council's subject matter jurisdiction. Each speaker will be allowed 2 minutes per speaker. We don't currently seem to have any attendees, so I will wait a few moments in case there's an attendee, but I don't see anyone. Okay, so then we can go on to item number 3, which is approval of the Harbour Gateway North Neighbourhood Council letter with recommendations for charter reform. Okay, have you all had a chance to see and look at the letter?
Could I just quickly read out the points?
Okay.
We had been thinking of making some official comment on the proposed charter changes. We've never really had a chance to discuss them in detail. There's a lot of ones that relate to adding more council members to the city council and ranked choice voting and many different things. But we thought we could get our comments in before the April 2nd deadline. So we thought to base it on the 4 items that the
You suggested at our last meeting, right?
right, that the LANC, the Los Angeles Alliance of Neighborhood Councils, had come up with, and that had key ones that we would support, and that actually the Charter Commission has approved. And then Bart raised the issue of the lack of real input into planning decisions now, which many neighborhood councils are concerned about. So we just added that last one. So basically, we would recommend and support adoption of 1, neighborhood councils delivering a community impact statement shall be in a separate queue from public comment. The second one is neighborhood councils, regardless of the city's position, may deliver to any governmental agency a statement passed in a Brown acted public meeting at which there is quorum, the city shall create and require language to indicate the neighborhood council is speaking for itself and not the city. Another one, increase and that previous one, is important for us because we have to work with Caltrans and with the LA County a lot because of our boundary issues, and even other cities, City of Gardena, for example. In the next one, increase the number of bond commissioners from 7 to 9, with 2 additional commissioners being at large and appointed by neighborhood councils. Next one, require that city council committees, and city commissioners make provision for neighborhood councils to comment via telephone or telephonic conferencing at all meetings of these bodies, because currently the city council, you can only comment if you're there in person, and that's the case with some of the other committees and commissions, and it really deters the public from getting involved. So, and the last one is the one that we
Added ourselves.
Yes, require that all major developments which will come before a zoning administrator, area planning commission, or city planning commission be required before any application is filed. Maybe you should put some commas in there. To make their presentation to the city council members, planning staff, and neighborhood council to receive input on the project first, because we've had a number of apartment projects where they go ahead and file and pay all those fees, and then later rarely anymore, but if they come before us, and we make comment and make some suggestions, it's kind of almost too late to make any adjustments to their proposals. But so anyway, this would help with making the projects more community friendly, and to have that done in the beginning before any of those big fees are paid.
Okay, thank you. Are there any comments anybody would like to make an adjustment to any of those? Otherwise, we will go on, and I will call for a motion to vote on this in support of this letter.
And then we will file.
I don't see any hands up at this point. Therefore, I will call for a motion to support the letter that we will send. Yes. This is just a draft at the moment, Rosalie?
No, this is the letter we would submit and also
right.
file as a community impact statement before April 2nd.
Thank you. Right. Okay. May I have a motion?
Rosalie makes the motion to support our letter.
Thank you. And
I second the motion.
Oh, Dave, thank you very much. Okay, and I will call for vote.
Joan Jacobs.
Yes.
Alonzo Williams.
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Ronald Robinson.
Yes.
Bart Bidlingmeyer.
Yes.
Dave Trejo.
Yes.
R.V. Powell.
Yes.
Sorry, Madge has her hand up.
Oh, Madge
Just
is here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry that I'm late, and I vote yes.
Thank you, Madge.
Eva Cooper Pace.
Yes.
Marvin Bell.
Yes.
Jeremy Guyton.
Yes.
Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Clifford McLean.
Yeah.
Okay, motion passes.
Thank you. So our next order of business is further discussion of the 2026 Neighborhood Council goals and priorities and the timeline. Thank you. So,
Oh, and Joan, just before we
yes.
go to that, I see a stakeholder here.
Oh, yes.
So Patty, did you want to say something under general public comment tonight?
You have your hand raised, Patty, and Jackie. Jackie Jackson is here.
Yes,
Can
Jackie
you
is
make
joining.
her a panelist or that? Okay.
Yeah, she's a panel.
Great.
So Patty, did you want
Yes, Patty
anything?
Perkins, your hand is raised. Would you like to make a comment on anything that's within our jurisdiction? Are you able to unmute her, Mosley, or you can?
I'm asking her to unmute, but
Okay, thank you.
well, otherwise,
interested.
Patty, here. Yeah, did you want to make any comment about something not on the agenda, Patty?
No, I didn't. I'm just listening in to find out what's going on in the neighborhood and the community.
Oh, okay, all right.
Thank you
Okay,
very
thank
much.
you.
Okay, so right now we're on item number 4, which is the board's goals or the neighborhood council goals and priorities for the rest of 2026 and possibly up through June 27. We'll see later. Okay, beautification and creation of green spaces. And how we would like to do that. We have the suggestions so far: beautifying Rosecrans medians with trees and native shrubs, partner with Environmental Charter Middle School, work with CD15 and Bureau of Street Services and Streets LA, and also murals, art, and green spaces to link the various Harbor Gateway North neighborhoods. So we have basically 2 goals. One is the beautification and creation of green spaces with a breakdown of suggestions in how to beautify. And the next is increasing stakeholder engagement, participation, and community connection, including youth. My suggestion is that we start with the very first one, beautification and creation of green spaces. Are we all agreed we want to continue looking at this? Anybody who disagrees? We look as if we're okay with that. Then if we are going to beautify Rosecrans medians with trees and native shrubs, etc., and partner with Environmental Charter Middle School, Dave knows more about that, right, Dave? And work with CD15 and Bureau of Street Services and Streets LA. What would be our first small step that would be within the scope of our abilities over the next few months, so that we get started and we can make some progress towards this? Okay. Can you put your hand up, because I can't hear very well if I hear sort of vague talking. Patty. Oh, it says there's one panelist, but I think it's Patty Perkins.
No, it's Dave.
It's Dave? Oh, there's also, oh, I see, yeah. Dave, go ahead.
I was going to say that partnering with the middle school, it's so much easier if the middle school is beautifying things that are in walking distance. If there's not in walking distance, then the organization of buses or getting parents there becomes more complicated. I'm happy to push the charge of our kids and our families supporting, but I think things on Gardena Boulevard and in that general area pushing
Okay.
towards Gardena Elementary. Make more sense if we're naming specific area for partnership with school.
Okay.
I think that the charter school was on there from the previous year, and the idea was that once the project was approved and moving forward, then the kids would be involved. So maybe that element should be left out. And
Okay, let's look at what Dave was saying first. So you're thinking that you can work on getting the children and the parents involved or supportive. Let's put it that way, Dave.
100%. If it's stuff within walking distance, if we're going
Of
all the way to
walking
Rosecrans,
distances.
it becomes a little harder. At that point, I can advertise, but it's so much easier if we're doing projects on Gardena Boulevard or in that general vicinity.
Okay. Okay. So then, and the other thing, so around Gardena Elementary and Rosecrans medians, where we certainly would work with CD15 and Bureau of Street Services and Streets LA, and we can go that way. And possibly with your expertise as an environmental middle school, I would think you would be able to give us some hints or suggestions as how to approach Bureau of Street Services and what things they might help with. I don't know. I'm just throwing my thoughts out to get us sort of going along. So, how do you think we should start with? Who's going to approach who? Who is willing to approach this with CD15? Who's willing to go to Bureau of Street Services and Streets LA? And who will get in touch with other neighborhood councils who've been successful? Jeremy, you have your hand up.
Yeah, so just following up on Dave's comment, I'm curious if maybe for this goal we zoom out a bit
Okay.
and so then maybe perhaps we look at all of the schools that are within our neighborhood district and maybe start to assess, okay, what are the opportunities for green space development around all of the schools that are within our district. So then we can maybe then roll out or think about a comprehensive or a way to get multiple schools engaged in creating these green spaces instead of zeroing in on one. Just could potentially be like a goal for the coming months so that then when we roll out, we are not just beautifying one particular area of the neighborhood, but we can identify multiple spaces that are opportunities for green space development based on proximity to schools in our neighborhood area.
Okay, so first finding out which schools are even interested in this. Would that be the thing to start with? We want to.
I think, well, sure, we can start with the schools. I guess what I'm offering is before even, I mean, we can get the schools engaged or see who's interested. I guess what I'm offering is that we can just do our own sort of survey or analysis based on like a half-mile radius around all of the schools within our district. Like, what are the green spaces there currently? What are the spaces that are potential for green space development? And then we can approach each individual school with saying like, hey, within a half-mile radius, here are some opportunities to get students engaged in beautifying or creating green spaces. And then we can get school buy-in. And then once we get school buy-in, then it, strengthens whatever proposal we would then bring to CD15. That's sort of what I'm offering versus like trying to zero in on one particular place or tailor an initiative to one particular school. If these are sort of district-wide if these are our neighborhood-wide goals for this year, I'm offering that perhaps starting off with just a survey of a half-mile radius around all the schools within our neighborhood. to then identify potential for green space development, so that we can present a comprehensive plan or strategy to CD15, so that we are creating green spaces across our neighborhoods versus, one particular site that we are focusing or zeroing in on. It's just an offering.
Thank you. I don't think it's that we were thinking we would just limit it to Dave's school. It's more that Dave school, because of their experience already, we know they would be interested in something like this, and therefore they look as if they would be a helpful what's the word, resource to go to for how we would get money or how to talk to other schools or how to get started. I think Dave is just thinking what they can do in their area because that's what their school would be most interested in, not limiting it to their area as such. Am I right, Dave?
100%. I was going to agree with Jeremy because I think if you zoom out and just say schools and partner with schools and target schools for proximity to schools for the greening of areas, then we're an easy partner to go with, but it also doesn't limit it to just us.
Right. Thank you. Rosalie, you have your hand up.
So a couple comments related to that. Well, I'm particularly interested in the Rosecrans median, so I'm willing to try to work on that with someone. But also, yeah, I agree with Jeremy about the schools. As we learned from our board retreat, the Figueroa Street School already has a project that's going to be implemented this year from the Neighborhood Land Trust. And, there's an index of each school and how much green space they have. And then the LAUSD has already kind of ranked them. So for the other schools, each district rep maybe could reach or work with Jackie Jackson, our youth rep, to youth advocate, to reach out to the other schools and find out if there's any plans in mind and how receptive they are to to greening their schools.
That brings us to what's our survey. We're surveying these schools or whatever. What are the questions? What is the survey looking at? So, going to the headmistress. Sorry, I still hark back 500 years to when I was in school. Principal, I guess, or whoever we would go to, or would we go to LAUSD first and let them know that we're interested in this sort of project? Anybody suggestions?
The principal, and then there is for our schools are divided among two school board members, and so there's I think there's two different district offices, but there's like an area administrator for a lot of the schools, so we could also talk with them.
Okay.
But the other point I want to make about the green spaces, it was in our Constant Contact newsletter, because those of us who attended the last plan check meeting learned that the city is working on updating the open space element of the general plan that hasn't been updated for 20, 30 years. And the thing is, when you look at those maps, and comment is due by March 31st, and there's a link in that newsletter for people to make comment, because for the whole of our Harbor Gateway North, the only green space shown in a tiny dot is Rosecrans Recreation Center. And they refer to medians and parkways as other possibilities. And of course, school playgrounds have a lot of potential. So we all need to also take the survey, and because
take the survey and
point this out, because right now, we hardly have any green space. They're
Right.
showing us as an environmental justice community, and in their proposed map, there is nothing proposed to remedy that for open space. So,
Okay, thank you. So that's what we're going to look at. Medians that we could possibly look at as well, this that we would have put in our survey. And you're suggesting parks. Well, the only one we have
well,
is restaurants.
yeah, but
Medians and what else?
parkways.
I'm not sure. Parkway, by you mean the place where people walk and near where they park their car, right?
Yeah, but on
Okay,
on
thank
our
you.
major streets, for example, you know, we have the big median going down Vermont Avenue from
Right.
but also next to District 4 and well, there's some in District 3, there's a closer kind of small median that could take trees, you know, that have narrow trunks and be planted all along there. So you'd form another line of trees on that major street.
Okay, so then I'm looking at, I think we need to just sort of do our small steps. So the very first step would be the survey.
Take the
And
city
people
survey.
take the city survey. Got it, which is the link is on the Constant Contact newsletter.
Under open space, yes.
The contact is on the newsletter, right? And open spaces.
Yes, and I'll resend it to the whole board just
Great, thank
to
you.
make it easy. So do that before March 31st. Make some comment that
Okay, Dave.
our green space needs to be in that plan.
Yes, thank you. Absolutely. Dave, your hand is up.
The one thing I was going to say that my understanding of the LAUSD indexing of the green spaces is green spaces on campus.
Yes.
I don't know that it takes into account the space in the surrounding neighborhood, which I think is what Jeremy was talking with. And I think Jeremy was saying more of an informal, like driving around and checking that out ourselves. While that
Right.
LAUSD index provides some opportunities for us to do outreach. Depending on, in my experience working with LAUSD, it really depends on the tenure of the principal, the experience of the principal, and their capacity to be able to partner with other folks. And so some may be very willing, some may just not have the capacity or be newer to their position and aren't prioritizing community partnerships yet. So if we were to do something at a school, it'd be great if we get that partnership, but that's not always an easy pathway. And if there's things in the neighborhood, in the surrounding area, we may find that it's easier to make movement if we don't get contact with the principal immediately.
Okay, thank you. Yes, so then I'm just getting it so that we've got our small steps in order. So first thing is, and I was thinking the same, assuming this would be an informal survey, that we would drive around or ask our neighbors what they would like, any suggestions they might have. I'm going to mute myself for a moment because I have some background. So Alonso, if I need to mute myself, would you take over if there's anything that somebody wants to say, or however you would like to progress?
How do you raise your hand?
Yes, people.
Clifford, you can just, there's a button at the bottom of the screen that says raise hand, but if it doesn't work, you could just, since we see your face, you can hold up your hand. Okay.
Okay. So, Clifford, yes, go ahead. What would you like to say?
There's some mediums and going down Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
They considered.
Okay. So my suggestion is that rather than writing each one down right now or going over them right now, that in the intervening time, we write these down so that and then forward them to, you can forward them to me or to whoever wants to take, somehow we'll collect them anyway for our meetings, for our board meetings, and or maybe we should have a subcommittee. Does anybody, what do you think about having an ad hoc committee who can get these things together, or we can,
Maybe just the executive board can compile.
oh, that's it. Oh, also, anyway, at the end of every meeting with committee reports, we'll also go through our goals. Has this goal, how far are we progressing with this goal? How far, et cetera, or who has some progress to make, and where do we go for the next steps? What do you think? I want everybody's participation because I don't want to take over the meeting. I want to do what you all want, how you think, because you all have better suggestions than I. Are we okay with that? What do you think? Yeah, Finesse, was that you? Somebody was saying something, thinking about saying,
And also, I just want to clarify, there's a person here who just identifies themselves as
yes,
HGNNC.
right.
So I'm wondering if that's one of our board members.
Maybe.
Hello.
So HGNNC, if you would like to unmute yourself, particularly if you're a board member, and let us know who you are. And if not, no problem. Okay, thank you. But if you have any suggestions, members of the public, stakeholders, Patty as well, we would really like to hear them, how we go about this, because we're really in the early stages. So, okay, very first step for this is the survey of our areas, and
We'll take the open space survey and then,
yes, before the 31st of March.
yes, and
Right. So
then
that's
do a
one.
survey. Each district rep who has a school can.
Okay, I would like to say, even if they don't have a school, we really still need to know about the medians on our streets and other spaces which could be possibly open green spaces as well. Okay, am I?
Yes, because we have a number of lots that we're going to have apartment buildings built on them and nothing's happened, and those could be instead turned into open spaces.
Yes, thank you. So open space survey is absolutely right, number one. And then if the district reps on possible green spaces and medians and parkways, I think you said, right? Green spaces, medians, parkways, etc. And then we can go next time we talk about possibly on what we might see there and how to go about getting funding or getting permission. Does that sound reasonable, or should we do that beforehand? Green spaces, medians, parkways. Sorry, I'm trying to.
And I do think that district reps that have a school in their boundaries, if they can attempt to talk with the principal about greening their schools. We know Figueroa Street's already taken care of, an environmental charter middle school has a lot of green areas on their campus, but the other schools like Gardena Elementary.
Principals you said to approach, Dave?
First, yes.
Yeah, I would always approach a principal, and if you can get an office manager's name or a parent community liaison's name, CCing them sometimes helps. So principal inboxes are wild abysses.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Okay, so what I'm looking at, And so let's go down to the next part, which is murals, art. We're talking about green spaces. Identifying at the same time anywhere murals and art could be. This is a lot for the, sorry. The district reps to take on all by themselves, each one maybe. I don't know how much it is, but we also have we have outreach reps, and so partner with whoever you can. If you have children in school or no children at schools, you could talk to them what they see as rather ugly spaces as they're walking around, or where they'd like to see, or your neighbors where they would like to see more greenery, more beauty. Okay, anybody other suggestions of how we can go about this so it's not too much for
So maybe
their
this
own
one,
district? Mhm.
maybe this one we should take out the green space and just focus on murals and art.
Okay,
Because we're doing the green space as kind of the other first one. So.
right. I was thinking of both of them actually, that we still get help, that all the reps would get help if they can on both these suggestions, both these items. But you can go about it how you like, basically. But if you're looking at schools, then definitely, as Dave has told us, the principals and get the name of the office manager so that you get answers sometimes. Okay. Jeremy, did you have anything to say? I know there were two people who are interested in the murals and art. Jeremy, you were one of them, or had any other suggestions?
Yeah, I was one of them. It was a suggestion at the retreat.
Yes.
Yeah, Rosalie had sent me a quote for another muralist, and so that was helpful reference to
Great.
think through. But yeah, I don't have any further comment beyond that right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Right. So at least we're making some small steps in the right direction that are possible to have some answer to, or even if that answer is there's no cooperation.
Well,
Right.
actually, I do. Sorry, I do have
Yeah,
one thing
Jeremy, go
because
ahead.
it's. I'm curious. Do we have? Um, I know that we have like various contact statements for the various neighborhoods and things like that. I'm curious if, like, as a neighborhood council, we have a particular narrative or story that we are trying to tell about our neighborhood that could then perhaps guide the art that we are displaying or the way that these murals are connected across our neighborhood. Um,
Do
yeah.
you have any artist friends who have that kind of idea? I am totally non-creative. Bart has his hand up. Bart, you have a
Yeah.
suggestion?
Well, two things I wanted to say is, we have budgets, but I think there's uh the LA Office of Community Beautification. So they have Beautify LA and Shine LA, who I know we're working with. So I don't know what the connections are there, but to get grant money for these particular things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one, and then the second is that to Jeremy's point, I wonder if there is something we can set up where it is we can procure the money for murals in each of our district, and then initiate some sort of you know a rollout after that, where it's either local artists, it's kids, it's neighborhoods. But yeah, I would say I'm inclined to say, well, let's first figure out what we can do, and then figure out how to implement it for all of our districts.
That sounds great. How do we go about finding out what we can do first of all? Because that's the very first step, I think.
So Ronald Robinson
Hold on a
has-
minute, Rosalie. I think somebody else was saying something. Who was speaking? My mistake. Sorry, Rosalie. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ronald Robinson has been doing some research about
Fabulous.
murals under our freeway overpasses. So he's getting some concept, and it is very expensive. If they're done under the freeways, that's technically Caltrans property. And our field deputy, Rudy Martinez, has found out there's someone at Caltrans you have to get permission from. And
Okay.
also, I think it would still also have to go through the Cultural Affairs Department to, for them to review the mural. So it's a long process, but
That's why we're starting out with very small steps. What's
right.
the very first step is to find out these things and have them as part of our resource of this is who you go to, blah, 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 right? So thank you, Rosalie, for that information. And Ronald, are you here? Ronald is here, I think, right?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes. So have you anything to add to what Rosalie said?
Well, yes, what she mentioned, I've met with several muralists to date, and I mean, for me, I've been primarily concerned. Well, my goal was to try to put one Gardena Boulevard, and I'm learning a lot from the muralists and the process. It's like Rosalie said, for an underpass, it's a major project, and
Right.
it's not cheap. I can tell you that. I've had quotes from actually I'm meeting another muralist on Friday too, but I've had quotes from 50,000 to 100 something thousand, and that's just to get the mural. But the process going, because you're dealing with Caltrans, is kind of, I'm trying to understand and work through the process, but that's just part of it. And then the other issue is the bigger issue is the funding, because a lot of muralists with they want a budget. So what can it goes the budget will determine what the art's going to be, what they can and cannot do. So, and that's something that unfortunately, we're not a private enterprise, so we can't give them a budget. We can't tell them, listen, I have 50,000 or so much money for this, that, and the other, because the way it works, what I'm doing now is seeing what I can, trying to find the muralist first, and then how much it's going to cost to maybe do the project, and then you have to go about trying to raise the money through private partners or whoever you can raise the money from, and it's not a cheap. I've actually had an idea of working with now. Trying to set up with maybe do 4 muralists, because my project at Gardena Boulevard is massive. So, but I'm trying to change the community, and that's a massive piece of art space to try to do. It would be easier to do something like what they did at the Boys and Girls Club, where they did AT&T helped and the community did it, and Rosalie and myself, we participated in painting the yard. That was a fairly small beautification project for the Boys and Girls Club, very small. And it's also, I've met a few muralists that one recently that did the side of a building for, I think this young lady that won a gold medal at figure skating. I can't think of her name right now, but anyway, he just did one on the side of a private business. And it's so much easier and cheaper if if you can find something where space where you can get a local artist that's part of the community to do something like that, versus trying to do an underpass is an undertaking.
Right. So that we're looking at starting at something which is more reasonable. And I know they have been doing those I'm trying to think where it was, the last one that I saw when I was going through the district, but not our district, another district,
Mm-hmm.
where the electrical box, what is it? Not DW, is it DWP? Electrical boxes have art on them, and they're absolutely charming.
Mm-hmm.
Utility boxes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. So one might look at starting at something that is more, and even that is expensive. But you know,
Well, a local artist
Yeah, go ahead, Ronald. Sorry.
yeah, I'm sorry, but yeah, I think if you just start, if you can just start, the whole purpose is beautification. So
Exactly.
I think what for as a neighborhood council, what we want to do is have some wins at the end of the fiscal year. Do something, even if it's
Just
just a
do
small,
something.
yeah,
Yes,
do something. We can do
absolutely.
something small in our districts, and we can at least point to this is we started. We've done something. What I'm doing is too
Exactly.
big to I can't even know the time. It may take a year or so to get this done, just the paperwork and the process. But
Absolutely.
there's plenty of opportunities where we could get local artists to do some very small projects for not that much money. We just have to identify some smaller projects that we could do and just try it and then just work to get it done.
Right. Thank you. Yes. So then, and in this survey, as we go around our districts and looking at where the opportunities might be, we could also look at utility boxes and see where they all are.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, even if we only got one or half a utility box done, it's something, well, this is it. This is what we started on and we can go on. And I absolutely agree with you. Even if we only get one school involved saying, yes, next year we may be able to start on this, that's again is something, or one tree planted. It's a beginning and it's something achievable. I mean,
Yes.
that we have achieved. But we look, as Jeremy said, we look at the whole picture. We look at um, our whole neighborhood and where all the possibilities are. And we can only go where we actually can go. So, and it's not going to be easy. And we all know that it's going to be impossible to do everything at once. But
Joan, can I just mention one more thing? I think one of
yes,
the issues that we run into with some of these things is just it's funding, because even
yes,
I'm talking about a project that could cost $50,000, but it's kind of unrealistic, but we don't, as a board, don't have, we may only have a few $1,000s or so to spend on these type of projects, so it becomes a funding issue.
we
One
would
thing
need,
we do
definitely need partners. And in
yeah,
fact,
we're
wondering,
going to need partners with these kinds of things, and
does anybody out there have a millionaire friend or a multi
We need to look
millionaire
into,
friend or whatever? Anyway,
we
right.
need
So,
to look
yes,
into
Rosalie,
if we still have Quimby funds that we can
we
tap
do. Yes,
into.
we will look. So, Madge, do you know if we have these the Beautify LA funds or whatever they're called now in our
Yes, I forget the name, but we
yeah
still have at least a
Queen
couple
Street?
thousand
Yeah,
dollars that have not
yeah.
been used. So yes.
So that could at least buy some paints, maybe if nothing else. Who knows?
But no, Joan, I'm referring to Quimby funds.
What
They're
if funds?
different. They're different. Quimby,
I don't
Q-I-M-B-Y.
know.
Yeah,
And
whenever a company, a developer builds something, they're
yes,
required to put aside some money for art projects.
thank you.
And some years ago, our council district told us that there were quite a lot, and that they encouraged us to do some type of art
Great.
projects. So we
Okay,
have
so
to find out if those funds are still available.
yes. So who is going to find out if those funds are still available?
I'll contact our council
Rosalie, thank
about
you.
that.
And then are the are our representatives willing to go and take this visual survey, basically, of their neighborhoods, and somehow whoever they get to help them do it, but visual survey of what are all the open spaces that we could could possibly work on, knowing that we're obviously not going to work all on them at once, but if we can even work on one, it's still a step in the right direction. Are we all buying into that? Yep, good. Okay, thank you. So we're looking at then, is there any more to add to the first big priority, our first big goal, beautification and creation of green spaces?
So Cliff had his hand up. Yeah.
Did you, Cliff? Sorry, I didn't see it. Thank you. Go ahead.
So, do we have the ability to deal with the railroads?
Well, we can get into contact, and I think again, Rosalie is the fount of all knowledge on how to contact the railroads. But who knows what kind of cooperation we'll get? But if you think we should contact the railroad as well, that's also
Well, that is something
Rosalie.
we should look into because you know, we have a lot of rail track going through our neighborhoods and they're not keeping it up. And I did learn that the city of Torrance's Union Pacific tracks are kept up much better than ours. And supposedly it's because the city of Torrance pays Union Pacific to have a better quality or a better level of cleaning. So we need to look into that, and if that's accurate, is there some way that we can pressure the city of Los Angeles to allocate some funds so that we can have that same level of cleanliness? And
Okay, so then yes, Clifford.
Yeah. I could that would be all right. I mean, if Torrance gives the railroad money, if they have it to give, okay. But railroads don't. They're not. They seem like it's well. My opinion, they're making money.
Yeah.
So they just need to allocate some of that money to making their area look better.
well, maybe we can also find out if
yeah.
if they come under the Public Utilities Commission.
Okay.
So that's something that we could try to get our state legislators to, you know, get the Public Utilities Commission to require that Union Pacific have you know, provide the funding to properly upkeep their tracks. No,
Okay,
Clifford makes a very good point.
Yeah, absolutely. So are we all willing to write individual letters to our Public Utilities Commission as well as maybe
Well, no, let's find,
excuse me, as long as well maybe as writing a letter as a whole as a board? Rosalie, you wanted to say something.
Well, let's look into it and find out who the best person to write to, and then we can.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. That's
So
good.
it's something to look into, put it on our list for the beautification.
Okay.
Well, we don't want to leave it too late. We want to get started as soon as possible. So maybe if we could have some kind of knowledge of that by our
next board meeting.
Next board meeting. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Okay, I'm feeling very excited by this, as you can probably tell.
The last thing,
yes,
sorry,
Jeremy.
just the last thing that I
go
would,
ahead. Yeah.
the last thing I would add or be curious about is if we can leverage LA 28 and the Olympics. I know that they are asking for input for fan zones. They're asking for input. I mean, right? Like LA, the city of Los Angeles is about to be on a global stage. They're very heavily invested in how the story of Los Angeles is being communicated globally. And so I think with all of these issues that we are facing, we also have an opportunity to essentially say, like, hey, like, we will not be quiet about the inequities that we are facing in Harbor Gateway North if they are not properly addressed as the rest of the city is preparing for this global event. And so I'm also just curious if there's a way to leverage the investments that are being poured into the city for the Olympics to also bring some of that to beautifying or painting murals or whatever it is. Like the city is investing a lot of money and we have a
Brilliant.
lot of grievances with the city. And so I'm
And
just
it-
offering that.
And
Hold on,
actually,
Rosalie, did you finish, Jeremy? Had you finished what you were saying?
Yes, I'm finished.
Oh, okay. No problem. Rosalie, go ahead.
yeah, I'm just following up on what Jeremy said because from one of the muralists that Ronald Robinson met with, he mentioned that he is one of 8 muralists that the Cultural Affairs Department selected who will be doing murals for the Olympics. So the question,
Yeah, go ahead.
so the
Sorry.
question is, where are those murals going to be placed? And what Jeremy is suggesting is that we need to lobby that, one of them could be in our area.
Exactly. Who knows who these people are? Do you know, Ronald, who it
Oh,
is?
no, it's the Cultural
Lobby?
Affairs Commission.
Oh, the Cultural Affairs Committee. Okay,
Is
so
the
we
one
lobby
who
them.
we should. Yeah,
And
I'll
again,
work with Jeremy to contact them to try to find out more details
okay.
on the proposed murals and how we can get at least one in our area.
One in our area would be absolutely lovely. And yeah, at least maybe all our little utility boxes could be painted anyway, because it doesn't cost anywhere near as much. Who knows? But it would be something. And part of the thing is, we are the Harbour Gateway. People will be coming in by to the airport and so on, and the port, and therefore you don't want these freeways to and the places they go through to be ugly and downtrodden. So saying how important we are to the city of Los Angeles, I think is a very good point to make.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we should
Yes.
find out from Metro what their art plans are because
Yes.
the Metro station at Figueroa and 117th,
Mm-hmm.
that is a key place where people come if they're coming from the airport. And I've seen a lot of travelers from other countries, they may change there to take the J line downtown, for example. And that metro side is just very in great need of some art projects. So that's
Okay.
another organization we could reach out to find out what their plans are
Okay.
for,
Thank
for
you.
Olympic beautification.
Yeah. Thank you. Madge, you have your hand up.
Yes, I just wanted to touch on that last part that Rosalie was mentioning. I was at a presentation in Century City a couple of weeks ago, and they are doing the D line, D as in dog.
Mm-hmm.
And they did have someone representative from the Metro, LA Metro. I'll have to find the female's name. And she did show up a presentation that had very specific murals and artwork along at least the D line in Century City that goes to UCLA, which is where the athletes' village will be for at least the Paralympics. So I do think that there is some action and some plans for that. So if I can find that presentation or maybe contact the person, I don't mind just getting some more information and reporting back.
That would be lovely, Madge. Thank you.
Well,
That's
for every metro line, they've always put in art projects at the stations, but we want to find out maybe through her what their plans are for Special Olympics art projects or for stations that never really got art projects originally.
But we want our stations in particular, I think, Rosalie, right? That's who we're really,
Yeah, especially,
yes,
yeah.
particularly for us, because we're vital to the lifeblood of this city. Okay. Okay, thank you. So I think that's a lot to be getting on with, at least in the next 2 weeks. How's that? Um, okay, thank you all. This is wonderful. Now, do we want to go on to the next one, increasing stakeholder engagement, or we've got a lot to do in the next 2 weeks to start off the very first one? What do we want to do?
Let's make a start on that.
Let's start on it. Okay. So increasing stakeholder engagement, participation, community connection, including youth. I would think that this, to a certain extent, goes along with the first one anyway, because you're trying to make connections in the community, right? To find out where they think they would like things to be, or to have suggestions from them for the beautification. So then each district representative will create an outreach event for their district stakeholders to encourage engagement with the neighborhood council, which could include events like voter registration for those turning 18, a picnic, a health fair, community yard sale, senior appreciation day, community pride day, sports day, jobs for youth, emergency preparedness, creation of safe walking zones near schools, my LA 311 training, 311 training, etc. So that's the outreach event, possible outreach event. Then a survey to identify community needs, arrange CERT classes, outreach to the businesses in our neighborhood council, and a list of community organizations with which to partner, and increase Latino participation in the neighborhood council. Where do we want to start? Who has a suggestion? Who has anything?
Well, for the district, an event in each of the districts,
Yeah.
Eva had mentioned that District 5 will be hosting the Juneteenth event later
Oh,
in
lovely.
June. So
Okay.
that will have a variety of tables. I mean, our neighborhood council will be there, but we could even arrange for a voter registration booth to be there.
Okay.
And
What does Eva think about that? Eva, do you think about voter registration as a possibility at that event?
Voter registration is fine at that event.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
and
the suggestion.
is there a date yet?
No, Rudy is working on that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, that will be great. So voter registration is a good one. Great. Anybody want to have a community yard sale? No volunteers? Okay. It might bring up some money for
The murals.
for the mural, right? Or or at least a quarter of a utility box.
Right. So each district rep can kind of think of their own.
Yes.
It can be fairly small, and it might
Very small. Yeah.
only
But just something to-
involve taking a 311 flyer around the neighborhood. But
Yeah. And how about, and I don't know how anybody feels like this, how about, and this isn't an event as such, but trying to get, is PTA still going in the schools, Dave? Oh, Finesse, sorry. Go ahead. You have your hand up.
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say, like, maybe for an outreach event, we could focus on something, especially for youth, something more mental health based. I know
Okay.
that, like, with the things that are going on in the world right now, that
Oh,
many youth
yes.
just especially want a place to just vent, and like maybe more events geared towards like self-expression, and like having a safe space would probably bring in more youth and intrigue them more. But I definitely think that we should probably go for something more mental health based, because um I mean, this is unrelated, but just another day, like recently, um my school had taken like a select number of students, and we just went to a library and basically had a circle where we talked about issues that were kind of specific to our experiences. But being able to have that circle connected me with people I didn't think that I'd ever talk to. And so I feel like maybe even something just as simple as that could be
Okay.
well enough to kind of garner youth engagement.
Okay, thank you. That's a great idea. I mean, it's very important what you're saying. So, maybe everybody could just take that with them, that thought with them, and think how we might incorporate something like this. That would we go to the schools and talk to them about it? Would we, sorry, Dave, I don't know how many teachers we have on the board, but I know you're one. Excuse me.
Yeah.
I got something in my throat. So, have you any ideas about that? The mental health day?
Yeah, I think if you're gonna
Excuse
host
me, I'm going to
something,
ask Alonso to take over a moment and while I finish coughing and sneezing. Thank you. Okay, excuse me. Thanks, Dave. And
yeah,
Alonso.
I was gonna say, I think if we want to host things that are gonna attract young people, then we have to listen to Finesse and people her age, and get into some of the schools to talk to, work with Jackie to do some of that outreach, because they're just gonna know a whole lot more than we are. But I'm happy to also host events at the school, if we have ideas of what we want to do.
Yeah, so that's maybe something when the district reps and others are going around the community to identify the young people who live in the community and, talk to them. And because one of our issues is having spaces for people to meet in kind of an informal way. Because not all the schools are receptive, but the Boys and Girls Club would probably offer a space if we arrange something, and we can all people can always use our office. Although I have to say on the weekends, they do not air condition the building and it is tremendously hot in there. So it wouldn't work for a weekend, but possibly we've got a lot of churches
Mhm.
as a possible meeting space. So regarding the CERT classes, Frankie and I are going to reach out to the coordinator for those to see if we could schedule some this summer or in the early fall.
Rosalie, it's Madge. Are those subsidized or could those be subsidized in any way by the city?
Well, the fire department puts them on for free. The issue is that in the past, we would hold them at the 135th Street School, and that was in the days when we could just apply for a permit for all of the dates at one time and only pay, a certain amount of money. But now I think they'd make us pay for every single session. And if you do them at night, like on a Wednesday or Thursday night, every week for 6 weeks, I mean, that's going to cost a lot of money. So we have to talk with the coordinator if the fire department can pay that permit fee.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, that's one of the issues. And, we could have held it at room 185, but now we're being charged for the use of that room, so it's complicated. I mean, I think they also offer them on 1 or 2 Saturdays, like really intense. Instead of just like an hour and a half, it's multiple hours. So then you only have to secure a space for 2 times instead of 6 times. So that's another issue. And we did, when we held them in the evenings, like from 6:30, we provided refreshments because, people often were coming from work. And, we just don't really have that kind of money anymore, but.
Rosalie, I know that Maj came to look at the school at one point because we were looking at potentially hosting for meetings, and there was a fee associated with it, but like there was pretty much a fee associated with it because we would have the general public there while I was sitting on the panel, the dais, whatever you want to call it, and wouldn't be able to like be a plant manager to a type of floater. That's really why there would be a fee, because I'd have to have personnel stay for overtime. But if you're thinking of things for like weekend events that like I can go in for, that like my schedule's open for, like we wouldn't charge anything. We'd be fine because I'd be there and I wouldn't have to be the one running an event. But I'm happy to donate my time, and I can get the school to donate space if they're weekend events.
Okay,
During the week, the neighborhood council, the challenge was that I wouldn't be able to keep an eye on everything because I'd be sitting next to you all.
right.
Right.
Okay, well, that's something. And then, potentially the Boys and Girls Club if it was on a Saturday. But the issue with the Boys and Girls Club or the Environmental Charter Middle School is the parking situation. And we would have to try to make an arrangement, I think, with the Venice Health Clinic to see if we could use their parking lot.
Okay, so then that's another, thank you, Alonso, I'm back. So that's another step that one needs to take. And maybe we should find out the parking situation as well immediately. Did you come to some idea of when you might do this? When this
Well,
might
we're
happen?
going to
What we're
be
looking at? Sorry?
contacting, for cert, we're going to be contacting the coordinator, getting a sense of where we would be in their schedule. And then
Right.
it's the issue of the location, to find a
Okay.
location that we wouldn't have to pay for because
Yes. Right.
funds are now limited.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, big thing is to find out, to make a decision about what are the very first steps we need to take, whether that's coordinating people, contacting people, or what it is, so that then we can start progressing. So, are there any other suggestions around with that? I think we're doing very well, actually. How about a survey to identify community needs, and how would we do that when we have so few people, relatively speaking, on our emails?
Well, we could try one of those online surveys as well as maybe created in paper that district reps could take around.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe they can have a survey, each representative, and pass it out in their area and
That's
have them to
awesome.
return it back to them. And then we can kind of work towards their needs and things that they see that we might not think of.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we can look at who would be willing to put a survey out.
We can create a Google
Yeah.
form that stays active always and gets
Oh,
advertised however we advertise, and maybe there's a QR code for that anytime we do a mailer or a printing. I think Jeremy at some point said it would be worth us considering how to reimagine what it is that we send out when we send out our notice. Like, not only is there like a public meeting, but also are there recurring things that go on there, QR codes, things that like take them to our website, things that take them to a form. But if we had a Google form that lived on the website, lived and was advertised and whatnot, when those responses come in, there's a setting in which you can set it so that it triggers an email to anyone that it's shared with, so that we can see and get an alert anytime a stakeholder submits a suggestion, a comment, a complaint, an issue, whatever the case that is.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of stakeholders are not able to go into the system and send out information. They're not familiar with it.
So, Frankie, what do you think, or anybody, what do you think about letting people? One of the times we send something to every household, basically, mostly, is when we have a general membership meeting, right? So we could add something to that agenda that goes out. So it isn't on the agenda as such. It's more an announcement that if you go to our whatever, or please send in your by telephone, whatever it might be, but a survey, or an announcement that there is the survey and how they can find it, and so, or even a very short survey attached to that. I don't know.
Because a lot of the
hold on, Frankie.
A lot of people don't know their reps, and if they know who their rep is for their area, then they see them, they can say, this is what's happening, and I need to know if it's anything you guys could do about it. So I think it's more like the community knowing who their rep is, who's there to help fight for them.
Okay, yeah. So how do we change that?
We need to try to host the outreach meeting in each area.
Each area, okay.
Find a space where we can do it.
That sounds very good.
And get the information out to the people. So let them know if you want things done in your neighborhood, this is who the person you can see that can help relay what you would like to have happen.
Right. Okay, great. That's terrific. Thank you. So that's another suggestion for our reps, and how and us that we need to let people know. Now, cert classes would be under the purview of the outreach, or
so Frankie and I are going to work on
that. So you've got that in mind. Okay.
Right, because right now with everything that's going on, the cert is really needed. People need to know how to be prepared.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Frankie. Okay. So that's first steps are being taken anyway. That's great. Outreach to the businesses in our area.
But Joan, I just wanted to add that
yes,
for our April general membership meeting, when the flyer is prepared, and we have secured our Captain McIntyre of Southeast Division LAPD as the main speaker.
Okay.
We can, hopefully by the time the flyer goes out, we can have created the Google survey link that can appear on that flyer, and it can.
That would be wonderful.
So that would be a start, and then we could translate or create the survey in a paper format for the district reps to also have available.
That sounds great. Thank you, Rosalie. Yes. So we'll get that done. That's great. Survey. And outreach to Harbour Gateway North Neighbourhood Council businesses. Eva, your hand is up. Tell me.
I had my hand up, and reference to creating the survey, don't we have a webmaster on payroll?
Well, he will, but what Dave was saying, we create the Google survey link, and then he will also put it on our website.
The
So
creation
that's
of
another one.
the Google Form survey is really easy. I'm sure Majra, I can knock out a draft very, very quickly and then put it out for comment or feedback in terms of the questions. I think the simpler it is, the better it is. But I'm sure Majra, I could have a draft for that really quickly.
Thank you. Thank you, Dave. We'll let you get on with doing that then, if that's okay.
Don't want to volunteer you there, Majra. Just know you and I are
Yeah,
good
no,
with the tech.
I was thinking about that, and I think, yeah, between you or I, sounds good.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay, so then outreach to businesses. Again, this is I'm not sure if this goes with the outreach reps, but also the outreach reps, I would think, as well as all the other reps. In fact, any of us really, all of us who are on the.
Yeah, we've done some. Arvi and I last year went to a number of the businesses in District 4, and a couple years ago, a previous outreach rep and I walked along Figueroa Street and met a lot of the newer businesses. So we just have to set some dates and do a little bit at a time because there's a lot of changes there. And then if
So
the
let's set
district,
some dates.
yeah, well, if the
Dates?
district reps,
And I'm in a district that, I should take part in this. I mean, we
yeah,
can all help
District
each other
2,
is basically what I'm saying. Yeah.
District 2 has some of the fewest businesses, but
Right, but we still have some.
a few, yeah.
And can make ourselves known and who we are and so forth and what we could do to help them, really.
But part of the outreach is to find out if they'd like to be on our email list too. And then we add them in so they're aware. And then if there's city initiatives that relate to assisting businesses, then they can be notified.
Okay. A list of community organizations with which to partner. And again, most of this is the district rep, but I guess my point is that we can all help each other. Just because I'm not a district rep doesn't mean that I can't help in any district if it comes to that, if somebody needs help.
Well, and I think, the outreach committee has needed to meet and will be
okay.
Within the next month we'll meet and we could, start a list and then circulate it so people can add any groups that we're not aware of.
Okay. Okay. And then any ideas on increasing Latino? So that's within the next month. So that would be by our general board meeting, general membership meeting.
What's that?
Started on the list of community organizations. And you'd have something to report by the board meeting, the membership meeting. That gives you a month.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you. And so then going on to increasing Latino participation in our neighborhood council. Suggestions from everybody, what we might do as a very first step for that. Who speaks Spanish? Dave, you speak Spanish, presumably. I don't know. I'm making a presumption.
I do speak Spanish.
Okay. I only speak very, very minimal Spanish, sadly. My husband speaks Spanish, if that's any help.
But a lot of the younger Latino community, it isn't necessary to speak Spanish. So
Now, there's a lot of first
That's
generation
true.
children
That's
whose
true.
parents
Yeah.
who are children of immigrants, but who have been here their whole life in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So, okay. So maybe speaking Spanish isn't necessarily a necessity, and I'm sure it isn't. But I'm just thinking that we need to get their interest first, so that if anybody does speak Spanish, even if it's only, and I'm sorry, I always get muddled up with Italian. So, buenos dias, or yo soy whoever I am, or whatever it might be for some people more, what's the word, welcoming, for want of a better word, or than just sort of going in English. And even the odd thing at the bottom of our flyers when we do put them out would give it, because we do get occasionally someone who does speak Spanish and needs a translator at our meetings. I mean, we did what was it, the last membership meeting, I think it was.
the one before that had
The one before that. Okay, yeah. So Dave, what do you reckon?
I mean, I think if we are more effective in general outreach, we're going to end up just by the numbers in the community with a higher percentage of Latinos there. I think the delivering of the flyers is one step. I think the other thing that I think we should partner with are the schools, the churches, and the parks. If the parks allow us to post the general membership flyer in advance, if churches are willing to distribute it to their listserv, and if schools are willing to distribute it to their networks, it helps us increase our outreach, but through trusted resources that they trust already. And that's for the entire community, not just Latinos.
Right. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Now, what do you think about, do the schools still have PTA groups or not?
Every school is required to have a parent partnership group. It's not required to be a PTA, because PTA is pretty diligent and dues based, and very much like a neighborhood council, has lots of rules that you got to follow. But every school does have a parent group.
I'm wondering if one might, whoever it might be, go and introduce themselves, that one of the board members go and introduce themselves at a PTA meeting and explain what a neighborhood council is, or something like that as well.
Actually, Erica said she was willing to go to different schools and talk about neighborhood councils.
That's nice. I think that's nice, but I think my thoughts are that somebody who's actually on the board
Well,
is
someone
even
could go
better.
with her.
Yes, right. Thank you. Marvin, you have your hands up? Your hand.
Yes, when I was with LA Unified School District, I believe that they always had a public announcement board that because every week they have a morning assembly. I don't know if they still do that, but you can go and present yourself as a rep and put the bulletin up for the flyer up for our upcoming meetings. I believe that was when I was working for the school district, they had that available for you.
That's another suggestion. So these are all things that we take back with us, ways to do it. And we certainly want to get as many people as possible coming to our membership meetings. So if anything be put in place before the membership meeting, that might be a good idea. Then we can tell whether it makes any difference or not, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so anything else that anybody wants to talk about with this? Or do you think we've got a little to be going on with at the moment? And Am I still? Yes, I am. I thought I hadn't unmuted. Yes. So, is there anything else you want to say, add? Anybody? Or have we achieved quite a lot this evening, I think? Okay, then I will. Our next meeting is our next board meeting in April, and
Do we need
something. Yeah, Rosalie, do we need
to vote on this, or?
I don't know that we do. Did we see we're going to have a vote on this? I think it was more a discussion. Oh, further discussion of the neighborhood and the timeline. Okay. I don't know if we
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary.
I don't know that
to
we need
to confirm the two major goals.
Yeah. Okay. So then I call for a motion to confirm our two main goals and the first steps towards possibly achieving these goals. No, to achieving these goals. Anybody?
Rosalie makes the motion.
Thank you. And the second?
Frankie seconds.
Thank you. And then I call for the roll. I ask for the roll call. Rosalie, please.
Joan, before we do the
Yes,
vote, I think we
Dave.
talked about so much. Can we just restate the two broad umbrellas that everything falls under?
Yes. So the first is our first goal. Overall goal is beautification and creation of green spaces. And the second big goal is increasing stakeholder engagement, participation, and community connection, including youth. Okay.
Okay, and what about taking the survey online?
I'm sorry.
That's one of the actions under increasing stakeholder engagement.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got possibly Juneteenth, the voter registration, possibly a mental health day, a survey. CERT classes are being looked into already, outreach to businesses, list of community organizations we can partner with, increasing Latino participation and general participation. I think becomes general, Latino and general. Right, Dave? Was that what you thought? Yes, would be better. Frankie?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So that's what we're voting on, to go forward with those goals. All right. So
Okay. Joan Jacobs?
Yes.
Alonzo Williams?
Yes.
Rosalie Preston, yes. Magini Nixon?
Yes.
Ronald Robinson?
Yes.
Bart Bidlingmeyer? Okay, HGNNC raised their hand. We're trying to get them to unmute. Can you unmute?
Ask everybody if they would unmute themselves in.
Well, it's the person who seems to be, who's listed as a participant, but we don't know.
Right, but we don't know if
they're a board member and they're trying to speak and they're not getting unmuted.
So let's continue anyway, because we do have 14.
Okay,
people.
so Dave Trejo.
Yes.
Excuse me, Somebody has their hand up. Is that HGNNC? Yes, I think so.
But they're not unmuting.
No, can you mute your sorry, can you mute your hand? Can you unmute yourself? That is, I can remember which the numbers are. I think it's *6, isn't it, to unmute?
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Joan, that's me, Barbara.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Continue with the roll call. Or did you want to say something?
No, she's.
No, we're okay. All right.
Arvie Powell,
Yes.
Eva Cooper Pace,
Yes.
Marvin Bell,
Yes.
Barbara Tyson Frazier,
Yes.
Jeremy Guyton.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is Jackie here?
I'm here. Yes.
Okay. Frankie Mays,
Yes.
Clifford McLean.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Okay, thank you. Then, in that case, if there is nobody who wants to say anything else, I will adjourn this meeting at 8:43 p.m. Thank you all again for coming and for all your input. I think it's very exciting that we're going to be going on and looking into these things this year and getting to it so much achieved. All right. And we'll see you at the next. Frankie, did you want to say something?
No, I'm just saying it was a great meeting. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay. So thank you all, and I'll say good night and enjoy the rest of the week. It's only Tuesday. All right. So, okay. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Stay safe, everyone.
Yep.